Thanksgiving, everybody, and welcome to another thankful episode of Just Saying with Justin Martindale. I'm Justin Martindale, and I have a bountiful feast of an episode, a cornucopia of sorts. One of my best friends in the entire world. We had him on briefly to tell his viral plane episode that happened a couple of weeks ago.
Sure.
You know him from The People's Couch on Bravo. You know him from A Very Sordid Wedding. Producer, actor, writer, my friend, Emerson Collins.
Oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize this was the thankful episode. I have to go.
Oh.
I don't have anything to be... Like, what if I'm like, that's like a penis gargle.
It's a turkey gobble.
I mean, Mitch McConnell, what?
Oh, no. You're my favorite turkey. How are you?
Fine, stuffed. What?
Tell us about what your travels. You just came back from like a whole thing.
I was in Pensacola, the center of the Redneck Riviera, and Birmingham. We went to a LGBTQ film festival.
Okay.
Gays and movies. And then in Birmingham, we did a fundraiser for a theater there. But I forgot about parts of the Deep South. You know, you get off the airplane and there's all of those men in that category that they're like hot but hate crimey.
Yes.
You know, it's like, are you military? Are you friendly? Are you Bubba?
Is your favorite day January 6th?
Are you going to beat me?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, right, I forgot about all that.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, hey.
Did you feel, was it like rough trade? Just
The
like
roughest.
The roughest
Yeah,
of trade.
but like clean rough, you know, not like unbathed, just sort of rough around the edges, like pickup push
Take you out on a date, pick up some roadkill.
Yeah, you know, it's like, are we going to the farm to make out or like get murdered? Who knows? You know, risk
The
it
day
all.
is young. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was great.
Good. And did you have any flight drama at all?
No. It was so disappointing. And Del and I were on this plane together. At one point, he was like, we should just do it, which is what, you know, we got
Oh my God, just start moaning?
But like he said, but this time it should be like lady moans, like, ooh, ooh, oh,
Yeah.
ooh, you know, for variation.
Yes, moaning.
Like the sequel.
There is no gender in moaning, I think. And I
Correct.
feel like female moaning needs to be brought back as well.
The
as
representation.
If you don't know what we're talking about, Emerson was on this flight. Like, it went viral where like there was like some glitch in the Matrix.
That is what they say. It was fully Keanu Reeves somewhere on the plane.
Like this.
Not like this.
The intercom came on and you just heard like weird sounds, and you put it up on TikTok and made it all over the world.
And here we are.
Yeah.
But nothing. No, so disappointed. We did have, though, on our flight home yesterday, at one point, the gentleman in the hate crimey category sitting behind me went, no!
What?
Like that. And my soul prolapsed out of my body.
A soul lapse.
A soul lapse, if you will. Correct. And I turned. He must have been watching some sort of sporting endeavor, I presume, you know, from the world of the straights men's. And then again, no one turned, and I was like, okay, great, we're just all fine with that. And then someone's service dog went running up the aisle, and I was like, well, it's not quite puke yank, but it's at least eventful.
Yeah, as long as like no one's feet are like.
Oh no, we fully had like the foot up on the armrest, same guy. Like that thing where the shoe is just appearing.
No!
Like in your armpit. Like, I don't know if that's a weird sex thing. Like, you know, fucking an armpit.
It's just gross.
But I was like, who raised you?
I know. That's what just freaks me out about traveling for the holidays. Like I'm staying in town
Because
for
of
Thanksgiving,
people.
just people. And then like I think we're traveling for Christmas, and I'm just like, all right, I can just suck it up and let's go. But I will say something. They say if you see something,
if you
say
see
something.
Say I did not say anything to his
See
shoe.
and I will look at that person and be like, I see something,
And I'm saying it.
and I'm saying something.
Yeah.
And you can't be mad at me if I see it.
Right, but I don't want to end up in someone else's viral like holiday travel video. As
We
you know,
talked about that last week.
Getting a little bit like, oh no, my mouth ran away from my very thin, tiny, frail body, and I got in a fight.
And everyone's like, look at this crazy person who's
right
confronting
here.
somebody. You're like, I have a name, and they're like, we don't care.
But like flight passenger, crazy person on plane. I'm trying to hit all of the different flight categories.
Yeah. Well, here is a story.
Do we have stories?
We have stories, but then I want to like talk about like
Thanks.
and like our friendship and like stories of our years past.
Yesteryear.
about being thankful and
I wrote them all down in a quill in my book, my diary.
Candlelit,
and
of
brought
course.
them.
But we've been friends for you're my longest friend since X amount of years
Since we graduated
X
from the high
amount
school.
of years. But yeah, people are trash still, and you're not one of them. But I just read this. I read this recently. There's now 8 billion people on the earth.
That's enough. We have done too much.
Yeah. And 7,999,999 of those are Nick Cannon's children.
Good for him. Just
No!
populating a commune. Ugh. But also, what's the journey of the women in this, right? Because this wasn't I'm having a new baby, and now I'm having a new baby, and
Well, I can say this because we talked about this at one of our Juicy Scoop Lives with Heather McDonald.
Do tell.
One of her listeners said that he has a disease that affects the kidneys.
Oh.
And so I don't know exactly what the disease is called, but they said you can get up to 3 kidney transplants in your lifetime.
Right.
And if you...
Stop. He is not making matches for his kidney. Oh, no. He's
harvesting the children.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's what they're saying.
Oh, no. At
Just
some point,
saying.
Doesn't his cannon have to start shooting blanks? That is a lot.
I mean, he just had his 12th kid. I mean, are we going to get an annual calendar at this point?
Oh, like the advent of cannons?
Yeah.
Like at Christmas?
You open
each one, and there's it's a new cannon baby? Mm-hmm. Just shot right out.
But they have to be dressed in the holiday according to that month.
I mean, 12, that's enough to do one calendar.
A full calendar.
But also bless her, who gets March? You think about those poor calendars. You can always tell.
I have a March birthday.
I know, but what do you do? The Ides of March at Tu Brute?
You dress up like a leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes Easter's in March.
The one rando year, look at you, March, defending March with we get Easter once every 8 years.
There's
sucks.
also spring break.
Sorry, March birthday people, but just say spring break. Stop. I want you to make a calendar and just do March as just spring break.
Yeah.
South Padre, we're doing it.
I did love this video though. Somebody did this. The National Geographic determined what Americans will look like in 2050, and they're all Nick Cannon.
Wait, do you remember our freshman year at Baylor when we all went to South Padre for spring break?
Yes.
And I didn't have a hotel room for the last 3 nights. I'm pretty sure we slept one night on the beach. We went to that Frog's place because Sir Mix-a-Lot was playing, and he did Big Butts, and then everyone left because they're that's the only song any of these white people from colleges know.
Yeah. What about it?
What a time. No, just reminded me of that.
Oh yeah, and that was the night. That was one of the nights. Well, one of the nights.
When 2 became 1?
When 2 became 1. Not the Spice Girls song, but that's when didn't we go to Mexico?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We crossed the border and went to Mexico.
Yeah.
And
ended up in a fight in a drive-through parking lot.
Oh
if I recall.
Yeah. Who got in that fight? Was it me?
It definitely was not me.
No, we did not.
I've always had a big mouth and stood in the back.
Yeah, I'm you can hurt my body, just don't hurt my face.
I'm gonna yell things and then run fast.
Yeah.
I'm not for the fisticuffs.
I didn't do that, but that was the night that I was dating a girl.
You were?
And we had not had sex yet.
Full copulation.
And everybody was pressuring us to have sex.
Did you that night?
No. But I will say,
was it?
We went home or back to the hotel. I think everybody else stayed out.
Yep.
And we were let's just do this already.
You're let's just get it done with. That's definitely the romance everyone thinks of for the first time.
It was just a chore. I was just shut up and let's go.
Cinderfella over here, okay, fine. Let's sweep the floors, break the hymen, do the tasks.
Oh, God, not break the hymen. Gross. On Thanksgiving? On a Thankful episode.
How else do you get the stuffing? I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Great. We're doing great.
And so we took off all of our clothes, and she started,
Laughing, pointing.
Foreplaying.
Filleting. The member. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I did what every other straight guy does when that is happening. I fell asleep.
Oh.
I fell asleep, and I woke up to one of our friends at the time over me, and he woke me up. He was like, dude, wake up. And I was like, huh? And I looked down, and all of my clothes were put back on me.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you this?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, she redressed you?
She redressed me.
She said, oh, my man. But also, why did you wake up like Ebenezer Scrooge?
Is it Christmas Day?
The ghost of girlfriends past.
But he's like, yeah, what's going on? Your girlfriend's on the beach crying. And I was like, oh,
Well,
shit. And
I
so
fell asleep in her mouth.
Oh my God. And I ran out to the beach as she was crying out there. And I was like, hey, so what's wrong?
Was she like topless on horseback with the wind blowing in her hair?
She had her clothes back on. But she was like, that was the first time I've ever done that, and you fell asleep. And I was like, oh no, you're going to hate what I'm going to have to say in a couple months from now.
Right, it's only going to get worse. Someone should warn you. You should run now.
I know. And that was the
the time. Spring break.
Spring break.
Well, so March. Why don't you reenact that for the calendar we were talking about? You're welcome.
Spring break?
Yeah, that's your March photo shoot. It's like you on the beach with her crying. Just salty sea air in the wind.
Yeah, with the waves crashing with my arm around her, just being like, it's not
It's just
me,
Ariel watching like
you.
Vanessa and Eric.
Yeah. It's not me, it's you.
Mm-hmm, I see you.
So yeah, there's 8 people, 8 million, 8 people.
That's too many anyway.
Yeah.
8, much less 8 billion. 8 is enough.
8 million people on the earth, and we can stop now.
Nick Cannon's production of Cheaper by the Dozen coming soon.
We can stop having kids.
But okay, well, I'll stop trying.
What? Just stop trying.
We work at it. Those butt babies any day now. Like, I just feel like we believe. It's like Tinkerbell. Clap, it'll happen. No?
Well, here's a little miracle that I wanted to talk about that we made happen. Mm-hmm. We all have been exposed to the unleashing of the holidays, like that is Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Now, Mariah Carey went on her social media. By the way, she has a new Christmas special coming out.
Yes.
She's got another. There's bars now are saying you can only play All I Want for Christmas Is You one time.
That's rude.
I don't think so.
I think it's not Christian. I think it's against Jesus.
Okay, Candace Cameron.
Yes, correct. I want to start a whole network, and it's just Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. 5-minute short films. No? Okay.
She went on her Instagram, and she came after Dolly Parton. Now, I saw this, and I was like, bitch did not. And Mariah Carey went on Instagram and said that Dolly Parton is the queen of everything, which I think is a big step, because I think Mariah Carey wants to make it about her. You know, she also has 2 kids with Nick Cannon. So the 76-year-old singer, which I never knew why they do that, why they have to like say
the
everyone's
age of people for the story. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
it's the weirdest olden-timey like newspaper thing.
I don't care that Dolly Parton's 76-year-old. She's not. She's timeless.
All the applause. Timeless to me.
She is. She said in an interview that I can't even read.
Doing great with reading.
She pointed out that Mariah was the queen of Christmas and not her, which I was like, what?
Yeah.
What in the Ebenezer Scrooge hell is happening? In Dolly's interview with Better Homes and Gardens in support of her upcoming holiday special, it was suggested that Dolly might be the new queen of Christmas. However, she did not want that title. She is the best person ever.
It's true.
She says, now, don't you say that I'm not going to compete with Mariah, Dolly told the outlet. I love her. You think of Christmas, you think of Mariah. I'm happy to be second in line to her. After seeing Dolly's quote, Mariah took to Twitter and said, Dolly, let's settle this one. You are the queen of everything, the queen of the world, the queen of Christmas, the queen of mine. Love you. I was like, what?
It was just a sweet love fest, but I love that your Dolly Parton was from like deep North Carolina, like approaching Nell territory.
Tay in the wind, Mr. Chicken
literally.
Man.
But wait, did you see literally today, TMZ reported that Mariah had applied for a trademark for Queen of Christmas and it was denied.
As it should be.
Well, because you know who's the original Queen of Christmas?
Yes.
Lucy from Charlie Brown. What? The Peanuts Christmas special.
She's not Queen of Christmas.
She tries to get the Christmas Queen put into the whole like Jesus story. That's like the subplot of the entire Peanut special. She said, we even have a Christmas Queen.
I think that's like just like first gay Christmas icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy.
I don't think she...
The original gaslighter, the one that like sat in the therapist booth and said, pay me and I'll tell you what your problems are. Mm-hmm. She was inspirational.
But I mean, I don't feel like Dolly's the Queen of Christmas.
No.
I mean, she did do Christmas in the Square.
Yes. Glorious.
Which you have to watch. If you have not watched it, I'm sure it's on Netflix again for the holidays. I hope so.
Yeah, I would assume Peacock something.
And it is just Dolly Parton dressed up as a homeless woman, and her homeless chic is like, she looks like Grisabella from Cats.
Correct.
And like this, like what is that even called?
Pashmina,
It's like what Grisabella in Cats wears on Broadway. It's just like What type of cat is that? A tabby?
I mean,
a long-haired?
Sure.
But she's got like her gloves with her cut-off knuckles, and she's got her krills that are freshly painted. And Dolly does that Christmas whisper. Christmas is a time for laugh and cheer. And you're like, give it to me now.
Correct.
Oh, it's so good. And it's just such a fun little family film.
My also favorite part is at one point, Dolly's in a cup holder as a little angel. And then she helps a girl get pregnant.
She helps a girl get pregnant?
She helps Marilyn get pregnant in the whole movie.
Wait.
She like magical fairy dust. That's like Tinkerbell and like, you're
that's
pregnant. Surprise, you're pregnant.
Surprise, you're pregnant, which is not how that works.
I think that Dolly Parton should approve and deny all pregnancies. Maybe she should visit Nick Cannon.
I mean, I just need Dolly Parton in a cup holder. That's all I want. Can we make a little Dolly Parton, like you have those hula girls for your car?
Yes,
I would just love
a little
Dolly
like
Parton.
dancing in your cup holder.
That's all I want. So I'm kind of excited to see that Mariah Carey kind of has been like, you know what? I'll let you have this.
She's sharing the space.
She's sharing the spirit. She's sharing the season.
The true spirit of Christmas.
It's giving back. Okay. Now, I've held on to this story for so long, and we have just banked on it. And then I thought, you know what? I have you here because I think you know my fascination and love for the movie Titanic.
A little bit, yes.
I saw it 9 times in theaters. I honestly, if Die Hard can be a Christmas movie, Titanic can be a Christmas movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
I'm sticking to it.
There's like festive decor.
There's iceberg kicking.
Sure. There's There's ice. It's cold.
There's an old Christmas buggy that is
steamy,
being used
for the original OnlyFans.
There is costumes.
Always.
And there's Celine Dion.
Yeah.
It is a Christmas movie. I am sticking to it. Titanic is a Christmas movie.
You take that.
I am. I'm going to do it. But here's a story. I haven't even read this story because I wanted to wait.
It's fresh and new together?
Well, yes. But
I was drunk the first time I saw
Titanic. It came out on
Titanic.
Halloween night. But here we go. So divers have unearthed a 26-year-old mystery surrounding the Titanic shipwreck. Divers have found a quote, dense and thriving ecosystem just meters from where the Titanic debris was uncovered. Almost 30 years ago, P.H., a veteran pilot of the submersible Nautile and a renowned Titanic diver. Oh, God, what a great job.
That's your whole job. Renowned Titanic diver. You don't do anything but dive to the Titanic at all times.
What else do you need?
They are still looking for that necklace.
God, discovered a puzzling object on sonar that was reading the area around the 1912 shipwreck. This guy then spent the better part of 2 decades thinking about the spot on the radar. What?
He spent 20 years thinking about on the radar. On my radar.
Hello.
20 years.
Yeah.
About a dot on a radar. Sir.
Bill Paxton.
Get a hobby.
Thought about that damn necklace for a long time.
Like 20 years. Dot on a radar. Okay. You were saying.
Spending endless nights wondering if what he saw was a shipwreck or a geologic feature. However, on October 25th of this year, he unsolved the mystery, finally found its answer. He swam to the target and discovered that the object in question was in fact a volcanic reef. OceanGate Expeditions socialist
specialist, doing great.
Oysen Fanning. What did I say?
He's related to Dakota and Elle. I think it's a cousin.
What did I say? Specialist?
There we go.
Yeah, I said specialist.
Okay.
Founded the research dive, and the foundation's scientific team supplied the analysis of the blip.
Not the blip.
What is this? Was that it? He just found a volcanic reef this whole time?
We waited 4 weeks for this.
I was going to say, you saved us from Halloween to read this story that this man was obsessed with a dot on a screen for 20 years.
Was wanting.
And it was a reef.
More, okay? They found a natural abyssal deep sea reef of extraordinary biodiversity at 2,900 meters. We didn't know what we would discover. On the sonar, this could have been any number of things, including the potential of it being another shipwreck. Now, that would just be weird. You can't have shipwreck on shipwreck.
So wait, we waited since Halloween. He waited 20 years, and all of this was to discover that what they saw on the sonar was more ocean stuff.
We need more ocean stuff.
Like a reef.
Ocean reefs.
Maybe that's where Ariel's sisters are. Like Aquata moved into that reef. Adina.
Did you see
Adela?
that whole thing about the Disney Easter eggs? How they said that the shipwreck in The Little Mermaid was Tarzan's parents.
The like deep dives.
I love those.
And that they're somehow related to the Frozen family, like cousins or something. Mm-hmm.
I love Disney conspiracy theories. Because they're real.
All of it, obviously, all of it. There's been like an 80-year plan.
So Tarzan is related to... Oh, that's what it was.
I thought it was. Tarzan's related to Anna and Elsa. Right.
Elsa's parents were Tarzan's parents because she was pregnant before they went on the boat.
Right.
And then
they ended up
crashing. Tarzan went to the island, who was brothers to Elsa and Anna, and Ariel discovered the shipwreck that was the Frozen shipwreck.
Sure, and then Tarzan went on down and he met Storm as a young like goddess of the...
Wait, what?
No, just mixing. Like, and then the X-Men got involved somehow
No, we're not involving the Marvel universe.
Why not?
I know. But I like that idea of a new volcanic reef.
That was... That was... Thank you.
What?
Like...
A new volcanic reef?
There are like lots. So what they found, what the moral of the story was that this man should have done something else for 20 years.
Oh.
They found a reef.
I know.
That was it.
I wish it would have been like...
Fancy, interesting, anything.
I know, like a Billy Zane nude portrait.
But also, I enjoy that you like saved this for yourself.
Not working. The mic's not working. We need to acknowledge that he brought this up for the last 4 weeks.
Right, like we've been kicking this can down the road, thinking like Celine Dion was popping out of the ocean.
You know what? People kick off winter differently. Okay.
Okay, sure.
If anything Titanic pops up, I'm like, let's go. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I still believe that there was room on the door.
Waiting for the sequel. The first time I ever saw Titanic, I was hammered.
What?
Yeah,
you don't even drink.
It was in high school. I know, but I have on occasion through the years. So I went to high school in Singapore, and it was.
Did you have a Singapore sling?
I did not. Not for this particular day. We basically stopped at the equivalent of a Singapore 7-Eleven because we snuck out of school because the movie was out and in the trunk of a car because we had a compound that you had to like drive past a security guard. So 3 of us got in the trunk of the car while somebody who could drive drove us out. And then we went and got drinks. We went to the movie theater, middle of the day, Titanic. And I do not remember the second half of the movie from the first time I saw it because I had like
you mean basically
where it sank? Yeah. I was like, wait, what happened? How do we get to the end? I had the equivalent of like basically half of 2 wine coolers and was hammered.
Oh, wow.
So, you know.
Bartles and James.
I'm a popular girl under the bleachers.
Good for you. Wow.
So the next time I was like, ooh, who knows? Let's see what happens at the end here.
Did you at least see Kate Winslet's nipple?
Maybe.
Okay. But you've seen it since then.
So many times, I feel like.
It's one of those movies.
Like, wasn't it in The Reader and...
The what?
I just feel like we've seen a good bit of Kate Winslet a number of times in various prestige projects.
I know. You know what's crazy is that somebody put up you're getting old when you can remember the 2 VHS tapes for Titanic. And
It was important.
I remember when I worked at Blockbuster.
Yes, it was a time.
And there was...
For those of you watching at home, Blockbuster used to be a place where...
I used to work at Blockbuster Video and like always got like the new releases.
Wow, what a difference.
I know. And I also got I think we got like 5 or 10 free rentals a week. But I remember putting the Titanic like videos up the night before.
The full wall.
I was like, this is going to be huge. And it was that big double case with
Yes.
the double movies that they
Yes.
paired together with a rubber band.
It was like an exciting thing, like going to the Blockbuster and there'd be like the wall and being like, there's one left,
I know.
run.
Hurry. And then waiting and being like, God damn it.
Or just like being like, has anyone returned?
Like, you couldn't go
making
home.
them check the return slot.
You couldn't go home if you're like, what's being released on video this weekend? And
I don't think I knew you worked there.
Yeah.
Be Kind Rewind.
Yeah.
Wow.
In San Antonio,
What
I
a
worked at Blockbuster.
difference. Blockbuster Video.
Hebner and yeah, it was Hebner Road and
Wasn't Hebner the love button? No, Herbie. Oh.
God, where did I live?
Where did I live? In my mind.
It was like Hebner and
In a gutter.
that's all I remember.
Great.
It was by an Albertsons. It's
fine.
Anyways, things that get sold at Albertsons. Here's something fun. Since you just got off a plane, this story came up and I was like, I have to talk about this because it made the news. Flight attendants on airplanes apparently hate it when you order a Diet Coke on the plane.
What?
Yeah.
Like, that's so aggressively specific.
It is.
What's the why?
I'm so glad you asked because
Thanks.
The reason for this displeasure with the low-cal cola is that it takes too long to pour. According to flight attendant blog, these gold wings. Pressure in the plane cabin affects all soda, but none so much as Diet Coke. As you may know, the aircraft cabin is not pressurized to sea level. Titanic.
Oh,
but rather
all connected. It's happy winter.
But rather to the equivalent of about 7,000 or 8,000 feet. This means some passengers might feel a little lightheaded or that alcohol affects them almost twice as much as it would on the ground. It also means soft drinks foam up a lot more when poured out of a can. Who went under the pseudonym Jet.
Great magazine.
The worst culprit for this is Diet Coke. I literally have to sit and wait for the bubbles to fall before I can continue pouring. If all 3 passengers ask for Diet Coke, I'll often get them started, take another 3 drink orders, serve those, and then finish the Diet Cokes.
I mean, this struggle, it is...
I get it.
It's basically like Jesus carrying the cross up the hill.
It really is.
It's equivalent, I feel.
It really is. You don't drink, and you always order a specific soft drink, and I
Which one?
You order Coke, but I've done this before where I don't know your sodas, and I always thought you drank Diet Coke. And guys...
Y'all, 20 plus years. First of all, I drink Dr. Pepper. It is my beverage of choice.
Yes.
I'm from Waco, Texas. There's a Dr. Pepper museum there. It's important to my culture.
Yeah.
At bars, I order a Coke. 20 years of him going, you want a Diet Coke? No.
No, they don't have Dr. Pepper.
Right.
Yeah. They don't have Dr. Pepper, so he gets a Coke.
Uh-huh.
I have to say something.
Oh, gosh. Are we prepared? Wait, is it as difficult a subject as
as
the fizzy bubbles in the Diet Coke in the planes?
It is.
Uh-huh.
I hate Diet Coke.
You are correct.
I hate it so much.
Yes, it's a cult.
That flames on the side of my face.
Heaving
breaths.
Heaving breaths.
I cannot understand why people drink Diet Coke.
And by the bucket.
By the bucket?
Diet Coke people are a cult. You know you are.
Do you know? Okay, I don't want me to put her on blast, but we went to school with this girl. I don't want to say her name, Amber. And we worked in the co-op during the shows. We had to we worked in the props department or something. Yeah. And I remember one hot August, September day. We got in her car to go drive around looking for props for some show. And I remember looking back in the back seat, and there was a case of Diet Coke.
It's commitment.
Sitting in the back seat of her car. And she grabbed one of the cans and opened it and drank it.
Wait, she drank a hot Diet Coke from the back seat in Texas in August, September-ish?
Yes.
That's horrifyingly disgusting.
And I looked at her, and it's burned in my head to this day.
I mean, clearly.
Hot Diet Coke. I don't get it. I don't understand the taste of it. I don't think it's diet.
It's I haven't seen it on any of the recommended programs.
Yeah.
But also it feels like everybody who drinks Diet Coke drinks it in the Sonic Route 44 size only.
It's always in some gigantic...
You don't get a thimble or a medium. You get 64 ounces or nothing.
You get a full 82 ounce teacher mug.
Because it's diet.
It's just, I hate the taste of it. My boyfriend drinks it, and I accept him.
Barely.
I love his truth.
Sometimes we have to accept these things about people. It's tough, but don't be cocus.
He'll be like, just grab me a Diet Coke. And I'm like,
your hand trembling on her way. I went through all Coke diet. Drink it, snort it, whatever it takes. Mm-hmm.
I have done that where it's been the only soda available. And I'm like, you know what?
I will eat the sand.
I remember we were in Dallas, Heather McDonald and I, this past couple weekends ago. And she had Perrier, Diet Coke, water, and that's it.
No.
And I was like, I want a sugar or something. And I grabbed the Diet Coke and was like, maybe today will be different. And it was not.
I've never understood Perrier because maybe it's because growing up, being sort of scraping to call ourselves lower middle class, the fancy bubbly water in the green glass. I was like, what's happening in my mouth right now?
Oh, I love Perrier. Not this has just become two gay men talking about Perrier.
Beverages. Riveting content.
I know.
We're doing great.
Well,
Diet Coke. Sorry, Diet Coke Hive. I realize that you're aggressive and intense, but it's true.
It's true. And you know what? Dr. Pepper for life. Sorry, that's my soda.
It's who I am. Have you seen the little reel of the little old lady who's like, I drink 2 Dr. Peppers a day?
Is she 109 or something?
Yes.
Yeah. Old people, like,
Hundreds of people sent it to me. I was like, at least my brand is strong.
yeah. Old people right now, we talked about the 100-year-old whose daughter took him to a strip club in Texas.
Yes, live your life.
Live your life. There was also a 103-year-old woman. They were like, what's the secret to longevity? And she was like, tequila. And I'm like, yes.
And you were like, I feel seen.
I love an old person just being like, what's the secret to life? And they're like, porn, cigarettes, and whiskey. And you're like, that's the whole time.
Also, because they're like in the I don't give a fuck era of life anyway.
Yeah.
But you know what? They just want to look at the camera and be like, don't die.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean secret?
Have you seen
the Rats of Nim over here?
Have you seen the old lady where she's like 100 and something years old and she has like, they put like 100 and something candles in her cake and it's just full on bonfire. And they're like, make a wish, Grandma. And she like blows it out. And they're like, what'd you wish for? And she looks at everyone. She goes, to not be here.
I mean, I feel yes. Also, I don't want to be that person. Like all the terrible things I do are to like cut off those years at the end that are useless. I don't want to be Clint Eastwood on a porch, pants up to my nipples, yelling weirdly racist things at people. I just want to be gone. You know why?
A little bit.
You know why?
What?
Die before your friends, because otherwise, who's going to talk at the funeral? Like if you're last, it's like the lady from the rest home that like helps wipe your butt after you poop in the pan. God. Is like speaking like, well, he was sort of nice at the end, that old queen. I want to die before all y'all. So you have to say things.
Oh,
I have a list. Wait, I have a list of people not allowed to speak at my funeral.
Who?
You.
What?
No.
Am I not allowed to speak at your funeral?
There's like 3 people in my life that I'm like, here's the thing. I don't want anybody doing a tight 10 at my funeral. Like, at least my funeral should be about me. I don't want anybody to get up and be like, I remember when I met Emerson, and then doing 20 minutes of a hilarious story about you.
Okay, well, I won't speak at your funeral.
I want you to sing.
No.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know what, but we'll work on it.
No.
Workshopping it. I'm kidding. Of course you can speak at my funeral, but I want to die first so everybody has to be there.
Well,
tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow.
No,
this is actually the day.
I will say that I will cut my speech down. However, I do have some, what are they called?
Wait, are you like senior gifts or whatever? Like the things?
No,
like...
I'm saying like I want to like negotiate.
Oh, perfect. You're gonna negotiate the contract. Yeah.
I have to wear red.
Obviously,
and fog.
Yes, we're gonna have a dry ice machine. We will have an entrance,
like a late entrance, fog.
Do you all see? Like everyone in my life is a lot. My funeral would become about everyone else's talent show.
Yes, yeah, I think that would be great.
Or I'll die last and control everyone's ceremonies.
Oh, just throw me in the wind, and I hope I smack you back in the face.
No, that would be you. Like. Oh, we all got Justin in our face, like a little bit in the mouth.
And I will always be in your face. Now, here's 2 old queens talking about something other than Perrier and funerals. Freddie Mercury read Elton John to absolute filth backstage at Rite Aid.
Stop it. Stop it. No, now I need like Freddie Mercury and Elton John like screaming at each other at the Rite Aid.
Live
like
Aid.
Standing in front of the incontinence section, like you bitch.
Not Rite Aid. Okay, this story is I'm guessing, kind of amazing. If we could scroll down on this one, John.
But also, this clearly can only be from Elton John's side here.
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess so, probably. So it's been 36 years to the day.
To the day.
Very Sanderson sisters. Since Freddie Mercury stole the show at Live Aid and read Elton John to filth while he was at it. Queen's Live Aid set, once voted the greatest rock concert ever, cemented Mercury's reputation as one of the most formidable showmen in the world. But it also served as a showcase for one of his other talents, his startling wit. In 2019, Elton John shared his favorite memory of his friend in an interview where his other celebrity pals asked him questions to The Guardian, reflecting on an exchange that they had backstage at Live Aid, which took place on the 13th of July, 1985. He said, I had a huge area that I kind of decorated. I made sure there were seats for everyone so that people who were playing could sit down and have a natter. What's a natter?
I don't know. I feel like, is that British for like rest?
Or drugs?
Oh.
Freddie came over after Queen had stolen the show. I said, Freddie, nobody should go on after you. You were magnificent. He said, you're absolutely right, darling. We were. We killed them. He was so excited. Where did you get that absolutely awful hat? Then he said, you, on the other hand, dear, you looked like the fucking Queen Mother when you were on stage. Where did you get that awful hat? Okay. John wasn't offended by the exchange, but said the comment was very Freddie. Okay. I don't think that was necessarily a read.
I mean, it's like a sweet read.
He was hilarious, even when he was dying. That's the read.
Stop. That's the actual read.
That's the read.
He was hilarious, even when he was dying. Comedy gold. No coward, move over.
He was exactly the same. He was lying in bed, too weak to stand because he had AIDS.
Losing his sight.
Going, have you heard Mrs. Bowie's new album, darling? What does she think she's doing? I always had the best time with him. Elton John also spoke about Freddie Mercury when asked by Billie Jean King if he would ever create a championship song that would become a sports anthem. Billie Jean has always gone on about "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions" by Queen being the ultimate sports songs, John said. I couldn't ask Bernie to sit down and write a lyric like that. He's not that kind of writer. To be honest, "We Are the Champions" can't be beaten. It's so good at what it does. Only sport can use it. Queen had that market sewn up, which was hysterical because Freddie Mercury hated sport. Singular.
Relatable.
Sport.
All of them, but singular.
He knew nothing about it at all. If you'd mention Arsenal to Freddie, he'd had thought it was something to do with gay sex.
Wait, is it not?
Arsenal?
Arsenal.
That sounds like a popper.
That would be a great popper brand. Just a little Arsenal. What's in your arsenal? Well, this man that I met this afternoon.
Yes, I love that everyone's like, oh my God, he read him to filth. I know the read was on his deathbed. I think that's what he's like, he was so gross and
I
weak.
loved him so much. He was blind, couldn't stand to bless his heart, but it was still funny.
Covered in lesions.
Be like horrific. He just looked awful, but I loved him dearly. This like Joan Crawford and Betty Davis scene where he wrote between Elton John and...
This is the Ryan Murphy feud I want. Even if they were just friends, just give them like...
Stop. The title is Nemesises.
Or Arsenal.
Sure.
American, what the fuck's it called?
American Horror Story?
American Horror Story, Arsenal.
Wait, American Horror Story, Britain.
I do love it, though.
I wish that you had done it all in the like accent of Rami Malek's teeth, though.
But these are like, I love a good gay feud.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this is like basic at best. This isn't like Truman Capote, Tennessee Williams. This is like harmless fun. He's like, darling, what's that hat?
It's very Patsy and Eddie from Fab.
Honestly, we're all just like imitating some woman that we once liked.
True.
An olden-timey broad.
An olden-timey...
Why don't you come up and fuck me in the arsenal sometime?
Gilded queen.
Gilded queen.
I love
that. Just means old.
Yeah.
Just old. The golden ghouls of us all.
Golden Ghouls. That's a good show I'd watch. All right, now let's get into some Thanksgiving.
I drew you a hand turkey. Right here.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm sure Blake's parents have a new house.
Oh, yes.
They moved from his childhood home. So this is the first holiday season
in a new
at
home.
at their new house. So it'll be like the first adventures, which is fun. I've never gone home for Thanksgiving.
I haven't either.
It's because I've been poor my whole life as a grown-up, basically. Do you have this, though? Like, every year my parents are like, are you coming for Thanksgiving?
Poor. I am not.
I am poor. Proudly poor. Every year. I've been in LA 17 years, and every year my parents, are you coming for Thanksgiving? No, I never have. I've never. Not once.
That's what I was saying. I was like, you either get one holiday.
Right.
You have 2 holidays back to back, 3 if you're counting New Year's.
I mean, it was terrible planning on the colonizers' part, but Thanksgiving and Christmas so close together.
Guys, if you're going to colonize, can you like make it convenient?
Like if you're going to celebrate stealing all the people's land,
just like,
could you do it back in March when there's like nothing but spring break for the calendar?
Think about the future and like airplanes and stuff. It's really expensive and just so tiresome.
For all the gays who ran away from their homes.
God, I know.
It's really inconvenient.
You get one holiday, it's either Christmas or Thanksgiving. You're not getting both. And there's people who do both. And
I mean, yay if you can. But it's like, you just live at the airport. And then turn around. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I think we're just doing like brunch and we're doing...
Sure.
Yeah, we're going to do like...
It's a liquid.
No, not liquid.
Liquid thanks?
It is... we're gonna,
Quiches
and... we're going to watch the parade and then go to or watch the dog show. And then I think we're going to, his friend has like some penthouse or something. And we're going to go do like a Thanksgiving dinner there.
Do you remember the year we were doing a Friendsgiving?
Where?
When Blake lived in the Silver Lake house. And it was like very small and intimate, just a few people. And you called like an hour before and you were like, I met this girl at the Comedy Store last night. Can she come to Thanksgiving?
Who?
I don't remember who she was.
Remember that at all.
I said no. And you were like, what? And I was like, no, you can't bring some random girl to Thanksgiving. And you were like, but she doesn't have anywhere to go. And I was like, I don't know her. And I'm not as nice as you.
Look at me. I am helping.
You were being, you collect like the girls that make that sound so well. Like that sort of sound. And it was clearly one of those. And you were like, no, we were having a great time last night. We were in Venice. Can she come to Thanksgiving? And I was like, I don't know her. No. And you, what? No.
Did I bring her?
No.
I left her.
Yeah.
I wonder what that story was like.
I was like, blame it on me. But like your bitch ass friend said no. But I was like, there's like 5 people here. Oh. It's not a like plus ones. What? But like.
Oh, right. I remember who that was.
Oh, no.
She died. No, she didn't. I don't remember who it was.
For all of you listening at home, I have a church squeakle problem. If a sentence ends not where it's supposed to, I'm going to laugh, even if it's about someone dying. Because the best version of this story, do you remember this? When we were watching the very first episode of The People's Couch, when Blake lived with Allison in the Valley, we were all there sitting. We'd been like drinking and laughing and having a good time. Blake disappeared into the kitchen for a long time. It was very early in us dating for like 45 minutes. And then he came back in and he goes, I'm so sorry I was gone for so long. We just found out my friend died on the way to brunch.
Who? I don't remember this.
And I lost it. Like 10 minutes, like just done. Because that's not the end of that sentence, right? My friend died on the way to job, on the freeway, whatever. My friend died on the way to brunch. Like brunch is a catastrophe, like is dangerous. Brunching is dangerous. That was like that. That girl didn't die, right? This Thanksgiving girl.
Who? No. I don't even remember who that was.
Stephanie.
Was that her? No, you just made up.
I'm
like, oh right, Stephanie. Yeah, that was totally her.
You're so nice. You just sort of like collect people along the way.
I've stopped. I've definitely stopped since I've gotten older. I'm just like, you know what?
It's hard to collect people with our walkers with the tennis balls.
I don't know. Like it was just. I think like Thanksgiving. I definitely a couple Thanksgivings went and volunteered at the Laugh Factory for a couple of those and did those for the less fortunate. It was just. It just makes me feel good and it makes me feel like I'm giving back and it just kind of like. Breaks my heart a little bit. I think I've had a couple Thanksgivings where I just didn't. I think last. No.
I mean, we've done a bunch.
What year is it? 2022.
The year of our Lord, 2022.
I want to say 2021. I didn't do anything. I think I just.
I don't even remember.
Or 2020 or one of those. There was one year where I was like, wow, I didn't do anything for Thanksgiving. No turkey, nothing, and I was okay. I just like stayed at home and like drank.
Yeah.
Wine. It was in my COVID boxed wine phase.
I mean, that's fair. Like Franzia is your friend at
Not
Thanksgiving.
Franzia. Trader Joe's.
Pull the bag. Oh, the box
Trader
wine.
Joe's
The fancy box
Cabernet.
wine. What's your Thanksgiving foods? Also, who came up with stuffing? Who was the first person that said, you know what we need to do with that giant bird is like fist it with spices and stuff?
Yeah. Definitely
in there.
Someone with like bestiality
just
problems.
Like, they tried to fuck it first, right?
No, they did not.
Probably.
Well,
giblets.
Oh, no.
Gravy. Know what the worst thing is at Thanksgiving?
I'm trying to think I definitely like turkey, but I only have like one serving of turkey.
Yeah.
I'm
all about sides. Give me the starch.
Yeah, you eat like a bird. You eat like corn and
no,
like
I don't do corn.
mac and cheese.
Yes, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes,
corn?
cream of casserole. No.
Why?
Literally eating corn is a waste of time. It comes out the same way it went in. What is the point?
That's true. But I mean, like I'll do like a casserole. I'm really trying to get into inventive casseroles this year.
Stop it. Inventive casseroles?
Yeah.
You truly are just turning into a Southern lady at a retirement center. I'm doing inventive casseroles this year, y'all, from the Paula Deen School.
I feel like...
What is an inventive casserole?
Just like I'm following a lot, like ever since I've been on TikTok and Instagram, like people are like, hey... You can put these ingredients, not like mustard and watermelon. I'm not going to do that.
Not the people that like throw everything on the counter and mix it around and then put it in a...
But if they're like, oh, like here's like this kind of a... Like, okay, for instance, I saw a pie.
Okay. We're doing great.
This is how the story starts.
I'm going to see how pie gets to inventive casserole.
I saw a pie. Well, it's not a casserole, it's a pie.
Okay.
But it was a chocolate crust.
Sure.
And then it was a clear pie.
How is the chocolate pie clear?
It's just the chocolate crust, and then there's a gelatin that has a flavor to it. I don't even know what the flavor was. It was a flavored pie.
Horse hoof.
But it's clear Jell-O, and then they freeze it, and then it's a peppermint chocolate Peppermint chocolate.
Okay.
That's holiday.
But with like a gelatin bottom so that it's see-through?
What did you call me?
Well, if it jiggles, you are a gelatin bottom.
It was a chocolate crust. So the bottom is the chocolate crust, and then they fill it with a peppermint pie filling, which is clear. And then when they freeze it, they bring it out of the fridge, and then they put like peppermint crumbles around the crust.
Yeah.
And then when you cut it, it's like a clear pie, and it's peppermint. And I was like, I could do that.
Okay. I'm here for it.
That's an inventive
pie.
But like an inventive casserole is like, take your traditional green bean onion casserole, which I love.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's always that one Thanksgiving where 9 people bring that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, good, another fucking green bean casserole.
I mean, I do love it. But
I
to
do
me,
too.
Inventive casserole is like that trifle from Friends. You know, it's like, oh, you put in the peas, and then you put some Fritos on, and then you pour some chili across the top.
Give
and then
it to me. That's
a little bit of basil.
That's a Tex-Mex casserole.
It's like a drunk person went into their pantry and just went, these things. And then it's baked for $3.50 for 30 minutes.
But then they like give it a clever name like cowboy trash. And you're like,
always.
Did you see that Donna brought the cowboy trash casserole?
I'll be honest, I did not trust it, but I just got in there and dipped and dipped and dipped. It goes great on those ruffles. The original. Don't use flavored. The sour cream and onion will ruin it.
It had tuna fish, Takis, I think some olives, sour cream.
And a little bit of sadness.
Yeah, and you're like, oh yeah, way to go, Donna.
Aunt Glenn's.
Yeah. Cowboy trash. There's always like that weird like dish where you're just like, what is this?
And it's always a woman who's way too excited to be there, right? And she walks in and she's like, I brought my cowboy trash.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, yay.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh my God, Donna's here.
Oh my God.
And she's like, you guys. And then she like looks over everyone's shoulder. She's like, are you going to get some?
Did you taste it?
Are you going to try it?
And then you take it and you like swirl the spoon around in the dish just to make it look like somebody took some, and you smush it up real hard against the side. And you're like, Donna, that was so great.
I knew you'd like it.
But
I knew it.
Do you need this dish back? Yes, I do. It's my good Pyrex.
It's you have to take the dish and then bring back the pan.
It's an excuse for me to come back. I'll see you on Thursday.
Oh my God. But like, is there a Thanksgiving side that you're like, no?
Cranberries.
Oh, really?
Yes. That I don't care whether it's from the can or like what? No. That weird like gelatinous flop out of the
I don't like
can.
that. No.
Like it makes that sound as you like. No, that's not right.
Anything with marshmallows.
Marshmallows and sweet potatoes, though, that's great. Do you remember the year I tried to make a sweet potato casserole and it was more like a sweet potato soup?
Who made that?
Me.
When did you do
It was
that?
the same Friendsgiving of like it's Stephanie not being invited.
And you made a Thanksgiving
I tried
soup?
to make my grandmother's like
Thanksgiving
sweet potato with like, and I don't know what I did, but it was the soup. It was an inventive soup.
I was an inventive pie person.
From the beginning.
Because, oh my God, this makes so much sense.
Okay.
My mom used to make a thing called dump cake.
Dump with a P or dumb with a B?
It was called dump with a P.
Dump cake.
And there's a woman who like made a book.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, y'all, come on down. I made dump cakes. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. Because I remember years ago with Vince, it would be like, hey, I'm going to make this dump cake. And he was like, that's garbage.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you pooped in a pie.
It really, and it looked like that too. But like it was a, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was cake batter.
Sure. Well, clearly it's
cherry filling and like a can of pineapple chunks.
Yes.
And you just like throw it in the oven, and
yeah.
it did not look good. It tastes so good though. When my mom made it, it was so good, but it was also trash.
Yes. Well, Del, literally one of his plays has a dish called Cherry Dump Delight.
Yeah.
Like that's it's very Stu Magnolia's cuppa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bring over your dump cake. It's you just dump this, and cook it for $3.50 till golden brown.
I know. And like I would come home from school and watch Tiny Toons and eat dump cake. And that was my life.
The stories of sadness. I don't think you're going to end up on Candace Cameron Burr's inspirational Christian movie network with that story.
Tiny Toons, Power Rangers, and all that after school. My dump cake. I stick with it. All right, let's see. We got time for a couple more stories.
Wait, you know who the worst person is at Thanksgiving?
Who?
That person who says, why don't we all go around and say what we're thankful for? You know what I'm thankful for? Not having friends who do that. Like, that's like a number one way to be never invited again. Shut up, because the person who says it always just wants you to say them. That's what.
I'm happy for my amazing friends like you.
Thank you for hosting this wonderful gathering.
You have really gone out of your way with your CB2 decor to really make us feel welcome.
In the immortal words of Wicked, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Oh my God, I have a story.
Tell it. This like wandery.
I have a story before we leave. Okay, so you know with Facebook memories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It remembers because we can't.
They come out of the woodwork. Like I had one from like 2013 that popped up today. It was me, Fortune Feimster, Matt Edgar, Francisco Ramos, and Byron Bowers, and we all did La Jolla together. And I was like, wow, that was 2013. And then I got a memory from 2012, the previous year, that I said, oh my God, New York is just a bunch of like wannabe Broadway singers singing to Wicked. I mean, that was the year
I know
that I went out to New York.
You did. Was that the first time you'd ever been or the second?
I honestly don't know.
I thought it was the first time. Like it was your very first trip to New York was this boy with the problem.
I met this boy at a bar and we fell in love.
It was Taylor's oldest time.
Yeah, and we became like pen pals. This was before
Stop it, pen pals.
Not
like
pen
you were
pals.
writing like carrier pigeon messages and sending it off.
We had a phone, we could text, but we couldn't FaceTime. It was before FaceTime.
Right.
And so like
and that's pen pals.
Some time had passed and he was like, well, I'm going to get us a ticket out here to New York City.
I want you to come and see me.
And I want you to come and see me. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I got to New York City, the big city, and he was staying in the financial district and he had a really cute apartment, but it was like something was off. He had like a trench coat on the wall.
Yes.
Which I was like, why is that trench coat on the wall? And he was like, oh, I stole that from Leah Michele when she was doing Les Mis.
Wait, I did not remember this part. He stole a child's trench coat.
He stole Leah Michele's trench coat.
Right, but she was a child.
Oh, I guess
in Les
so,
Mis.
yeah.
She was playing
Ebony,
like the little kid with
Yeah.
the tiny trench coat, wasn't she?
So
Or
red
was she-
flag number one, you stole a trench coat and nailed it to your wall. And I'm looking around, I'm like, there's a lot of Broadway shit here. And I'm kind of like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
Being such a big fan of musicals, obviously.
I can take a musical. It's just like this particular person.
Uh-huh.
And so we went to like a show of his. I had a show, I think at like Gotham or Caroline's or both.
Sure.
I need to get back out there. And he's like singing and it's just like a lot.
At everywhere.
And then it
yes.
was like, I got us tickets to go see Wicked. And I was like, oh, I've never seen it. Okay, cool. So we go sit in Wicked and we're sitting there and like front and center, great seats, expensive seats.
Yes.
He's singing the entire goddamn show with the cast
Out
to
loud.
where one of the flying monkeys hushes him.
That's dark.
Hushed by a monkey.
Right.
On NBC this fall, starring Della Reese and Roma Downey.
Like long before Patti LuPone dropped out of Equity and started yelling at people from the stage, he got yelled at by a flying monkey.
Hushed by a monkey, which will not be on the Great American Network, Christmas, whatever. And I'm mortified. And so he starts like singing everything. And also I forgot to mention that when I got to the airport, he picked me up and he did not look like how I remembered him.
Vaguely catfishy. Catfish.
Like I was like,
coming to Justin's life.
what? You're not him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, sorry. Like I look a little different now. And I was like, I don't like this. It was also dark and I was a little boozy. So
I was gonna say, was it his photo? Was it your memory?
it
was
was both.
the carrier
and so
pigeon messages?
That went, I was like, and I remember that was right around Thanksgiving because I remember calling my friend Rachel and being like, I have to get out of here. I think I might have called you too. I was like, what do I
yes.
do? I
Yes.
have to get out of here. Like, this is not good.
Also like the attempts at romantics.
It was not
were terrible. Yeah.
We had to like share a bed. I didn't want anything to do with him because I was like,
You made a pillow fort.
you're crazy.
Right.
And
I'm
like,
staring at Lee Michelle's trench coat and does not an erection bring.
and then he was like, I got us tickets to Wicked. And I was like, you ruined the whole thing. And I was like, ugh, gross. So I checked to see what he was up to. And I checked Facebook and it said he died.
Stop. I was gonna say it. Is that actually true? Did he actually die? Is it a real death?
Real
this time?
death. There is a memorial page set up for him. And I was like,
Are you gonna make a pilgrimage?
no.
One short day.
No.
In the Emerald Sea.
No. I'm not doing that.
I want you to go and sing for good in his honor.
No, and I think it's awful, of course, but that's what happens. I mean, this was like 11 years ago.
Wait, that's what happens. He took me to Wicked and sang along, and then he died. That's what happens.
No, this was like back in like 2011 or 2012. And
pals.
like, I was like, I haven't heard or seen from him. And I was like, oh, what he's up to? Good old Facebook memory. Oh, no.
In the
I
arms
know.
of the
So,
angels. Well, that's
I know.
great.
Is that too dark? We can't end on that.
No, we can't. Well, but think about how many people in the olden timey days did get legit catfished when you had an actual pen pal, like in the Victorian era, when it was like, oh, someone has an eligible daughter, and they
The
wrote letters.
Victorian era? What are you talking about? It was called gay.com.
It was great. I got fired from a temp job for chatting on gay.com.
Really?
Yeah, they said I was looking at porn, and I was like, no, it's just homosexuals.
Well,
No, this was before. It was back when it took like 5 minutes for like one picture to download. I had a temp job.
oh, do you remember when you couldn't download pictures where it was like, I love how this has just turned into old gays talking about like,
It's fine. We're going to end this with Morse code.
yeah, no, it was honestly, no, you get on there and like find local people in your area before Grindr, before Scruff, before all the apps. And it was
Go to
like,
gay.com,
go to gay.com,
Central Texas.
Central Texas. And you'd get on there and it'd be like stats.
Uh-huh.
You ask people their stats.
ASL.
Age, sex,
Length.
language.
I think it was length.
Oh, I was like English.
I got caught in the Baylor library chatting on gay.com.
Yep.
Like fully by the security guard walking around. She asked me for my ID number, like to report this secret homosexual. I like fully just lied and made up a random social security number and like ran out of the library and never went back for 2.5 more years at Baylor.
Wow. The
I
fear
had, like,
of God.
And I had like 4 windows open. It wasn't like, oh, you can pop one thing up. I'm like chatting with 4 different dudes. Who knows where they are, what the age, like nothing. Just like, oh, hey, no, I'm in Waco, blah, blah, blah. And like this security guard over my shoulder. What are you doing?
My penis.
I'm going to hell. I'm sorry. Ran.
Candace Cameron. I remember there was like a fun one where I had this like guy in a pickup truck, like he was like, I'm in a fraternity and I'm on the DL. And I was like, oh my God, me too. And
That wasn't the one who leaned over the hood of his truck, was it?
What?
No, never mind. Someone else. What? Good
wait,
story.
what? Are you being serious?
Yeah, somebody at Baylor. I just forget whose story that was.
No, that was not me.
Okay, great.
I was a lady.
Of course you were.
Continue
Always
to be this day.
a Southern belle with a fainting couch. We got
Yeah.
a chaise at all times.
No, mine was this guy pulled up in a white pickup truck, like hot, and
That was enough.
so I had like come out like my, I guess like senior year or whatever, and like my roommates at the time were in the apartment, and like he was like, I don't want anyone to know. I was like, oh, that's fine, I'm cool, you know, whatever, no one cares. And he walked in and he saw my roommates and he ran out the door screaming, and I was like, oh well, this didn't go well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and then I tried to call him on the number that he gave me that I had spoken to many a time.
And it was like a Domino's or a La Quinta.
No, he's like, you got the wrong number. And
Right.
I'm like, okay. He's probably married with
Feel like,
kids now.
I just saw you.
I know.
You were just here.
There was a guy that I have on Facebook, like back in, like I like hooked up with him in his car and he like follows me and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's got a wife and kids now. Good
Some
for
people
him.
were just experimenting. Not everyone was on the same journey to being semi-professional homosexuals.
Thank you so much.
That's what we do here. And I am thankful for that and you.
And I'm thankful for you as well. And it was so wonderful having you on here. Tell everyone where to follow you.
I live
Besides a bathroom stall.
And be like, honestly, I'm really getting into real world following. Like, I want you to show up and start like a Pied Piper parade. You know, like forget online. Twitter's a dumpster fire. At Emerson Collins on Instagram. At actually Emerson on Twitter. I'm staying till the building closes. It's hilarious to me.
What, Twitter?
Yeah, like I'm staying till the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why not?
I'm just never on it anymore.
Yeah,
But
that's because you have like grown-up jobs.
I
And
do.
shows and things
Oh,
to do.
wait. I have to say this before I go. It's Thanksgiving, and that means tomorrow is Black Friday, which is like, can we still say that?
Well, it is a description of the day, not a cultural group of people. Yeah, the sale started like November 1st.
Okay, yeah,
It's been
so-
Black Friday for 3 weeks.
For sure. So also, I have teamed up with Cozy Earth again for the holidays. Tomorrow is Black Friday, and get your holiday shopping ready to go by using my promo code Justin40, Justin40 on CozyEarth.com. It's Oprah's favorite thing for 4 years in a row. I literally live for them. I have the bedding, the sheets, the towels. I travel in them all the time, and they're amazing joggers. They have a new hoodie out with a zip down feature. I highly recommend it. You guys have been loving it and DMing me. So now get on board. Use promo code Justin40, to get 40% off your final purchase at cozyearth.com.
I do want to say before we go,
Okay.
because it is Thanksgiving, to be half serious for half a second.
What?
I am incredibly thankful for you in my
Gross,
life
get
and as
out.
a friend. It's amazing for the Comedy Store and your podcast, and your fans are fantastic. And I love this little world that you are building here.
It is fun.
Thanks for having me in it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Was that gross? Was that too much?
It was a little gross, but I'll
Shake it
take
off.
it. It's fine. I appreciate you, and I value our friendship, and I'm thankful for you. So you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe.
Sure.
Eat a lot. And please don't trample anyone in a Marshall's. Good
At least
God.
make it a TJ Maxx.
Yeah, do like a place that matters.
Aim
like,
high.
Like a Nordstrom rack. even.
Yes.
All right.
Saks off 5th.
We'll see you next time on Just Saying with Justin Martindale. Goodbye.